Your brain is rotted, you're anxious, you're insecure, you're addicted to your phone. You don't even know what thoughts are your own because you're consuming so many thoughts. You're consuming more than you create. You're consuming other people's energy. You're fried. You're insecure. You don't even know what you even think anymore. You don't know what you like. You don't know what you adore. You're a whore. Just know, your brain is rotted to the core. Out of life, you want more. And your standards, they're on the floor. Let me say this right now. This episode is going to be about unrotting your brain, but listen, a lot of people will be like, oh, this is just not that deep, like scrolling and that, it's not that deep. Let me tell you something right now. On this podcast, the phrase, it's not that deep, it's illegal. There's a reason that I call you lot the deep sea divas. Everything is deep when you're a bad bitch. Welcome to the Sarah Elizabeth Show.
You are now tuned into the Sarah Elizabeth Show.
Allow me to be your Edgar Allan Poe.
Life's a bitch, and so am I.
This show's a bit like getting high.
Let me be your anchor when your mind's a little flimsy. So without further ado, welcome to the whimsy. That'll do it.
This is episode 4. This is the best one-woman show on the block. Hey to my new listeners and watchers, and kisses, big fat sloppy ones, to those who have been with me for a very long time. I feel like I've got a lovely mix of an audience, which is like new people and then people who've been around since literally like the opening of, I was going to say the opening of my womb, but that would, I am also not going to say the opening of my mom's legs, because that's not also tasteful. I'm so ready for this episode because this is, like I said, guys, at the minute, I'm just feeling my most magnetic. You see, I'm bouncing up and down. I can't even, because I'm excited to just impart all this knowledge onto you. I am just feeling the best I've ever felt in years. Literally, I'm glowing from the inside out, and I just want to share it all with you. Come on in, the water's lovely, I'm telling you right now. I just want to get you all on this vibe, and it starts with these little things that you think are little. So you think it's a little thing that you get so many, you're like brain rotted and you're addicted to your phone and you're doom scrolling, your brain's fried from all these different things that you don't even realize are bad things, and you don't think it's that deep. But like I said, everything is deep because they make up you. So it's going to be a nice deep one today, and it feels lovely. So welcome, guys. Get yourself comfortable, get yourself a little drink. As usual, just because, you know, I've relaunched the Poddy Wad. I had a bit of a hiatus because I was depressed. We won't get into that again. But the beautiful thing has happened, and I'm genuinely feeling like I can take on the world right now, and I'm feeling so good. And all I want to do is just go and like I'm firing on all cylinders, and I just want to keep imparting the knowledge onto you and having fun with you guys. So what I will say is this. Wherever you're watching or listening right now, especially if you're on YouTube, watch it. Do me a little favour and hit that hype button. This is a little thing now, because it helps me so much. And it obviously costs nothing for you, and it'll just help. Please, I'm begging. No, but yeah, give me a little hype early on in the ep, because I think, like I said, it spikes that engagement. It's just a little something you can do for charity. You know what I mean? For me, it just helps me so much, and I really appreciate all you guys' support, and I love you so much, of course. And it's Sunday, so while you're watching this, do you know what the lovely thing is? Whenever you guys watch this, I'm in church, bussing down to the Holy Spirit. I will talk about the fact that I've started a new church, and I'm absolutely loving it. But I believe it's Easter. I believe it's Easter today. He is risen, and so will man. Happy Easter to all those who celebrate. But listen to this, right? Just before I get into the meat of the episode, and when I say meat, because I've been having like anxiety. Not recently, I feel like I've combated it, but I used to obviously struggle with anxiety massively. I've spoken so many times about this, and it comes up in so many different forms, and a lot of mine was like health and safety anxiety, which it sounds silly to a lot of people, but it crippled me. And there was this study, someone told me this study, and I was like, I cannot wait to tell the girls that. I'm sure you've heard it, but basically there was a scientist, I don't know who it was, who said the emotion or the feeling or just anxiety cannot exist in the mind at the same time as gratitude and gratefulness. Like the two, I can't imagine, I don't know even who said it, some professor, someone said it, I can't tell you who, but I know that someone did say it, and it wasn't me, Professor Pussyclart or something, I don't know. He said, anxiety, it cannot be present in the mind at the same time as gratitude. Like those two things cannot exist. And I was like, what a beautiful fact. Woo! And I know it's hard sometimes to be grateful, especially because it's all good and well me to sit here with me bouncy blowout and me big fucking tits and be like, I haven't even got big tits, so that's just me cosplaying, but me sitting here being like, be grateful this morning, hey, and you might be in a horrific situation. So like I said, I don't want any tone deaf vibes on this podcast, but there's always something that you can kind of fixate on to be grateful. So I have thought of a new feature, and I am very proud of this little feature because I sat down for the whole week and I was like, I want to come up with something every podcast episode where I can kind of celebrate the small wins with you guys and get you feeling grateful and have it be a bit of fun and something interactive. So I'm very proud of this. I've come up with it, and it's going to be called Sunday Service with Sarah. And this is going to be a feature where we celebrate your small wins and our small wins on the podcast, because just before we get into it, because I do believe in celebrating all the small little things. I have received submissions for this, and if you're wondering how I did this, of course I do have the Patreon, but you need to be on the podcast Insta because I put a little story up. So if you didn't see that, you would have missed this. So this is for the girlies that are on the ball. They have submitted their small wins. And also, do you know what's really nice? I said on the story, I want it to be as well something where if you've got a friend or a special friend or a family member or, you know, a boyfriend, I don't know, if you want to celebrate someone on the pod, you can submit their small win for them and surprise them with a little mention on the pod. Isn't that lovely? So a couple of people have surprised their mates with a little message. I just think this is gorgeous. And obviously you will be able to submit your own as well, guys. But without further ado, I'm going to get my DJ decks up because we're going to do this proper.
Introducing DJ Sarah.
No. Welcome, guys, to Sunday Service with DJ Sarah, where we will be celebrating your small wins today. People have submitted their small wins. Okay, Leah. Leah has said for the first time her boyfriend has learned how to make her finish. She thought for years that she just couldn't. Finally, he's come along. I don't know why for so many years he was getting it wrong. If he only knew how to do this sooner. It's not hard to find it. Ladies, it's not hard to find it. And if you're not getting pleased in the bedroom, you need to see it, say it, sort it.
Motherfucker, where is it? Fucking where is it?
Leah, this is great news. Feel free to send in details on how he came to this victory, Leah. But like I said, yes, if you're not being pleased, please do see it, say it, sort it, get it communicated. Because if he still hasn't found what he's looking for, that is a problem. You need to be pleased, my lady. I speak about this on the podcast all the time. I spoke about this in my Aftercare Patreon exclusive episode. By the way, Leah, let me know if you did listen to that, because I would like to think that that is the reason you had this victory. Okay, next up, guys. This is for my friend Alicia. Alicia, sorry. Alicia completed a 5K and has beat her time. Nice. She's out of breath and she beat her time, and she's less likely to get heart disease down the line. Yes, Lisa. Sorry, Alicia is your name. It's never been Lisa. Okay, guys, just in, we have Jade. Jade said this week after listening to my episode, this is the longest Jade has ever gone without stalking her ex's new girl on Instagram. Jade, this is a victory, Jade. You are not Jade Bond. You are not a monitoring spirit, Jade. I rebuke the monitoring spirit off of you, Jade. We're very proud of you, Jade. Stop stalking his ex. She's not hotter than you. Hey guys, next up we have Rosemary. Rosemary. She finally had an orgasm this week. It's happened again. Oh. He found a clip. I don't know how he took so long to start find it. Orgasm reveal, Rosemary. This is how you were feeling, Rosemary. Euphoric. Very happy with all my girls. Can you say that it tasted like roses, Mary? Rosemary? Mary! It's an apt time to be called Mary as well, because it's Easter Jesus. But your name is not Mary, it's Rosemary. Nisha said, I slept with a guy one night stand. We both had a great time and I went to message him in the morning and I was blocked. I know exactly what's going on here.
He's dead at his pussy! He's dead!
Why are you saying so ugly? He's dead at his pussy! But Nisha's actually not finished. She said, this because that wasn't a small win. I mean, it would have been a win, but Nisha said, my small win is that I haven't crashed out about this yet and I've been staying calm. Died pussy girl, calm down yourself. By the way, I'm very proud of you, Nisha, for staying calm. This would not have me calm. This would have me ready to commit crimes. Now, guys, I've got one more, which doesn't sound... I can't say this is a small win. This is a big one. We have Eloisa said, I finally dumped my abusive, cheating boyfriend after I had a dream that if I stayed longer, I would die. There was no excuse for this rat to abuse you, to cheat and to confuse you. He had no tattoos. and he looked like a poo. I saw his pictures. You did what you had to do, stupid fool. He's such a tool. Dumped his ass, I'm proud of you. Dumped his ass, I'm proud of you. Oh, by the way, Eloisa, this is not a small win. This is a big win. Oh, yes, Eloisa. I'm proud of my girls. Remember, you can submit any of your small wins for next episode, and also for your friends. If you've got your friend has done a little anything, it can be small, it can be big. If you want to celebrate your friend and give them a little treat on the pod, or if you want to celebrate yourself, submit. Now, priority of course will always be the Patreon submissions, but you can comment in the comments. I'll read the comments, or you can message me. Comments, YouTube comments is probably the best, guys. I'm gonna get into my spreadsheet, because yes, I have prepared a spreadsheet for brain rot and all my little tips and tricks. But just before I do that, guys, this is the question that I want to ask everyone who's listening. So answer either in the comments or of wherever you're watching or listening. But basically, because I've asked my friends this and I get different answers every time, so I'm just genuinely like curious. What age was everyone when they learned about what sex was and like they were curious, if they remember? Because I remembered this story, right? And this is actually really quite dark because it happened when I was 8 years old, and I only realised that it was weird when I've grown up, but because I just remembered it, like I was like, what the hell? But basically, I was about 8 and I was playing Salvanian Families with my friend, and this friend at the time, she had quite quirky parents, like they were quite quirky. You'll see it or whatever. So we knew they were a little bit like quirky or whatever. But by the way, my poor mum didn't know this until recently. She was like, "Gosh, we could have known. You could have told us about this. Like we would have tried to like step in, but." Because my mum didn't know, and now it's too late. We don't even have contact with them anymore, so that's why I'm saying I hope that the girl's okay. But basically, I was playing Salvanian Families with my little friend, and I was 8. Like I said, guys, I was quite late playing with toys. Like I was playing with my Salvanians up until I was about 12, bitch. We didn't have phones. So we were playing with Salvanians or whatever, and then I was doing my like playing house or whatever, and then my friend had some peculiar thing going on with the Sylvanians. Like she was making her Sylvanians do really weird stuff, and I was like, well, get a load of this bitch. Like, what's she doing? No, but I remember like thinking, what the hell's going on? She had the little bear, like the mama bear, like tooted up on the bed. I'm not even joking, and like this is not funny. And then the guy behind it, and like he was grunting and stuff, and I was like, oh, what did this horse play over here? Like this is rough shit. I was like, please come on, I'm playing. Like my little happy family was like baking cookies and like being goofy, and there was like some rough and tumble going on in the next door house, and Mama Salvanian was tooted up on the bed on all fours, taking it from the back. I'm not even trying. This is not funny. So I said to my friend, and I remember this, like this is why this is stuck in me. I should have done something, and I feel bad that I didn't do anything. But I was 8, so I don't feel bad. I ate. I said to my friend, what's going on in your house? Like you've got a bit of a turbulent family there. Calm it down. Like the dad was just like horse playing with the mom constantly, and like she was lifting her dress up and stuff, and I was like, oh my god. And she was like, oh, she stopped playing this. I remember it like it was a play. She stopped and she went, oh, so you don't know what mummy and daddies do when it gets dark. She wasn't American. She's from like Stockport or something, so I don't know why I'm doing that. She was like, do you not know what mummy and daddies do at night? And I was like, hello, like sleep, weirdo. No, I wasn't, but I genuinely had no clue, not a clue. And she asked me to, I was was just sleeping, whatever. And then she asked me again. And this is the bit that I remember that I think's funny. And I said, oh, wrapping our presents. Because this is really cute. But in my head, the only other thing that I'd seen my mum do at night when I wasn't supposed to, because I was awake when she was doing it, was wrapping my birthday presents. And so the little girl, she went, all right, well, I won't tell you then. And then continued doing stuff. And I was like, okay, Mom, come pick me up, I'm scared. Mom, seriously, this is really weird. I was like, oh, whatever. Obviously I'd thought, but that got me curious then, and I think I must have asked my mum I didn't tell my mum about that. But anyway, this is the law, right? We found out they all shared a room, this family. I feel so bad. Something should have been done. They all shared a room, and it wasn't a situation where they didn't have another room. Because I know, like I said, it wasn't a situation where, this is why I think alarm bells should have been raised. It wasn't like they were in a situation where they had to all share a room. Because I know, like, that would have been, obviously some people might have to do that, I'm not sure, but I'm saying they actually did have quite like a big house. It was just some like bonding thing. Oh, we should have done something. I should have opened my mouth. But my mum didn't know about this, and I they were having like, so I think the little girl, they all slept in the same room and she witnessed that every single night. Because I'm not even joking. If they was just kissing the Salvanians, Daddy Salvanian was blowing her back out. It was so, I'm sorry, this is not even funny to me. I hope that little girl's okay. She won't be little anymore. She was older than me. But, jeez, that was traumatic. And that's what spiked me. I just wanted to tell that story. But I know that's not even funny, but it's so sad. So I think that the mum and dad were having sex in front of the girl. I'm not sure if they knew she was awake, but I do think it's quite wild to be having sex in the same room as an 8-year-old. That feels like some sort of crime. I do feel bad for not stepping in, but I was 8. And like I said, I've only remembered it now. And my mum was like, why didn't you say anything? Sorry about that, guys. But what age were you when you found out? Hopefully it wasn't traumatic. About like 6 months ago, like I said, when I was going through my awakening that I might have had like a little dose of depression and stuff, I was realising that a lot of the time my brain was clogged. And I feel like, I've talked about this all the time, but the sexiest thing, the nicest trait that anyone can have, I think, is a sense of individuality, where you're different and you're creative and you can tell that they have their own views, they have their own ideas, they're very individual, and they're just flowing with like a sense of self. Just stay with me, because sometimes it does sound like I'm like in psychosis. I'm not, I'm all right. And you can lose that when your brain is clogged. And what I mean by clogged is, genuinely think about it right now. When was the last time that you didn't have something else going on? And like I said, I do want to do a disclaimer and say, I know with a lot of people, especially people who work tireless hours, you don't have time. You don't have the luxury. A lot of people don't have the luxury of just having free time all the time. But have a think about this. Every time you're doing a task, not only are you often doing that task, but maybe you've got music on, maybe you've got the TV on, maybe you've got the laptop on. Maybe in your breaks, you want to have, I just need a break from work, and you've got a short break. You're going to scroll, your brain's getting clogged again. There isn't very, very rarely a moment in your life when your brain isn't clogged, and you're always having input, but you're consuming a lot more than you're creating. And there's never a moment where you can just, you constantly have stimulus, and that is why you're overstimulated. And you also don't know what your thoughts are your own, because you're constantly receiving. You probably, right now, a lot of you, because I was the same, I realised I didn't have time to just know what thoughts were my own, because a lot of people get scared to sit with their own thoughts, because a lot of the time the thoughts are dark, and that's very real. But I would say you actually just have to face reality and like sit with those thoughts for a bit, because you should not be scared of your own thoughts. And also the concept of just sitting and doing nothing, it's like we constantly got to fill the space, but then you are clogging your brain and therefore clogging your energy. So I've created kind of like little tips. So I am going to give you 5 ways to unrot your brain before it ruins your life. Not to get all Mel Robbins on your ass, but your brain is fried. You've probably got a phone addiction. I did. And like I said, my brain was just clogged all the time. So this is my little tip. So forgive me for being a little bit devious with the way I explain this, but when you doom scroll, right, and you just scroll, because I just would mindlessly scroll. It was scary the amount of time I'd just pick up my phone when I'm bored and just going into scrolling. It was like a default. Your mind's basically being penetrated. Sorry to say it, but that's just how I'm feeling at the minute. Go with it. It's being penetrated. You're okay. This is hard, not the best way to explain it, but when you're doom scrolling, you're not consenting to what you're receiving from. You're not, because you can scroll. Example: let's say you're feeling really stressed out. You just need a little break. You need to go and scroll. So you think, I'm going to distract myself with a scroll. I need downtime. I need a break. I'm going to go and scroll. You pick up your phone. You're already feeling a bit stressed, by the way. So you think this is going to distract you and calm you down. You see one video.
Appearance is a representation of who you are. So
your physical appearance is a representation of who you are. Next scroll. Big guy, SpongeBob, SquarePants, Fanta, okay. Next one. Have you tried this new matcha? There is a mangina outbreak. Do you have a collapsed nostril? Could your septum be deviated? Are you a bitch? 10 reasons why you might be a bitch. Are you a rat or a frog? Scroll. Woman found in your area dead. Signs you have ADHD and autism. Big guy. And then, so not only have you not consented to any of that because you didn't decide, you just scrolled, right? So you've just been blasted with information. You put your phone down, you can't even remember what you just watched. So you fried your brain a little bit more on the way to early dementia like that. And then also as well, you now feel even more spiked with, you wanted to escape from, you distract yourself and have a break, but now you found out that there's a mangina outbreak in your local area. Did it say mangina? Meningitis? Men in the vagina? That'll be an outbreak. That'll be a tragedy. You've found out now there's an outbreak in your area, and it's good to know about these things. So that may be a bad example, but like you've just found out, you've spiked your anxiety because you've seen 10 crimes that have been committed all around the world. That shouldn't be normal. Like I said, it is good to be aware of these things, but also imagine you've just come on for your break, you've scrolled, you've also now seen as well 10 people unboxing their Coachella tickets. That's not normal.
clocking out of work and you're like, I'm just trying to put a mood board together for Coachella. Bow! I'm not going to Coachella, by the way, guys, so y'all just be with me in that, because I'm like super down to earth and stuff like that, and I would drop everything if I got a ticket to go. No, but yeah, it's not normal to scroll and see a severe like incident happen. 10 women gone missing, some body found in the Thames. Unbox my Coachella outfit. Scroll, big guy, pants okay. What an absolute frying experience for your poor, delicate little brain. And your brain's a strong baddie, but goodness me, you're frying her. You're deep frying her. You're cooking her in oil. You're slow cooking her. And that's what is going to be happening to you. And so for me, this little tip is the power of choosing what you are going to put into your brain. It's very, very simple but it's very powerful. So instead of scrolling, I've actually cut out scrolling almost completely. And like I said, I'm not going to sound like a woo-woo wellness babe, but I'll happily be that. But there's a power in being like, right, so I will have a folder where I'm like, every time I see something like, oh, I want to watch that. Oh, that's a cute little series. I want to watch that. That's a cute little video. I want to watch that. That's a good YouTube video. I want to watch that. I'll do a folder to watch in my breaks. So now when I do get a break and I want to watch something, because that's normal, I don't want to say don't ever consume media ever again, I'm intentionally like, oh my goodness, I saw that and I wanted to watch it. You're making a choice. You're not just scrolling mindlessly and not consenting to anything that's coming into your brain. There's a power in that. There's a power in being like, no, I have the power over what I'm going to watch. I'm going to choose to commit to this. I'm going to choose to commit to this series in my break because I saw it and I want to watch it. And also, if you don't watch something immediately, you have power. You have the time to kind of think, is that something I definitely want to watch? That is powerful. So that's my first little tip. When you're all anxious and angsty, get the phone away. SpongeBob, big guy, Spence, okay. Put your phone away and do not scroll when you're in that anxious and I need a break mood. Have your little things that you're going to choose and watch. If you want to sit and watch something, absolutely, but make it a mindful choice and you choose and you commit to it. I think part of the reason that your brain is rotted, and also a lot of people have commitment issues, is this. And you're going to think, I'm not that deep. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. But like I said, you know what we say to those people? I'll see you in the shallow end. You leave them in the baby pool where they belong. Everything is deep. I think the reason that we're so fried, like I said, our brains are just so fried, is I have noticed that on Netflix now, there's loads of these little short mini series. One season, Harlan Coben, The Lost Woman who gets lost. And it's one season. I can't commit to any of the characters. I can't get, emotionally involved. It's over and done with. And it's also a storyline that's so I can follow it while I'm scrolling on TikTok. And that's why they make them. These little fleeting plot lines. Someone dies, someone cries, and it's called Little Lies. And it's just a basic plot line. And oh yeah, there's been a tragedy. There's been a tragedy in a small town. And she will get to the bottom of it, even if it means losing her husband. And it's just this very, very, easy to follow plot line. One season. There's so many on Netflix now. One season long short series that are the plot, and it's overstimulating, but the plot is very basic. And I was thinking, you can scroll while watching it. And yeah, I just see it now at the minute. There's just so many one season short Netflix series, and it's got me thinking, don't care, where's Rick? Where is Rick? As in, you know what's sad to say? The Walking Dead, it's on my wall. It wouldn't actually survive in this day and age, I feel like. The Walking Dead, 7 seasons. And by the way, I will fight over the Walking Dead series. That was one of the best seasons for me. And I don't care, where's Rick? The Walking Dead, sure, there's a few seasons where it flops off, a few shitty seasons where it's following around some group. I don't care about the governor and his zombified daughter, his carcass of a daughter. Where's Rick? Don't care, where's Rick? But what you do is you commit to a series because you like it. And you're going to say I'm cuckoo. And once again, I'm going on this tangent and people are going to be like, it's not that deep or it's just a series. If you can't commit to a series, can you commit to your man? Clock it. You're going to say it's not too deep, but that's why we leave you in the baby pool. With The Walking Dead, I knew I liked that series. I was all in, I was locked, which meant I committed to the shitty series where we were following around some stupid group I didn't give a fuck about. Don't care, where's Rick? But I stuck with it because, it was good. And I just thought that's a great thing. I think now what happens is people just want a quick fix. And I understand you might not have the time to watch a series, but there was such a bliss in every night waiting for that one season and sticking with it and sticking through the shitty bits. If you can't commit to The Walking Dead, you can't expect someone to commit to you, darling, because you've got rough patches as well, just as there's shitty seasons that don't even follow Rick around. I think there's a message about sticking to stuff there. And it is sad that I do feel like a lot of the stuff that's being pushed now is stuff that you can very easily watch with one eye and one eye on the doom scroll, which I don't like at all. And I think as well, another thing for you, so you don't get sucked into this circus, this media circus, pick series you want to watch. Yes, of course, some of these mini-series are really good. I'm not slating them at all. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. A lot of people like to make a habit of that, not with me, but I just see a lot of people being like, I'm sure they're great series, but I think try and make a thing where you're like, right, this is a slow starter, but I decided I want to watch this, so I'm going to stick it out. Don't be so quick to just, scroll on. Like I said, The Walking Dead, guys, also just quickly, not to go on a tangent, got Walking Dead on my wall. The Walking Dead, I nerded out so much about The Walking Dead. I literally nerded out so much about The Walking Dead. I was looking for forums online, like, genuinely, I'd never done this about anything, but I was looking like for when I was watching The Walking Dead, I was looking for podcasts about it, and I was looking for forums, and I was genuinely about to jump into a forum and start bitching about Laurie. By the way, Laurie in The Walking Dead, the worst character that's ever known to man. She was just an absolute wet soup. And I wanted, you know what it is with Laurie? She was just such a saggy character, like not physically, but she was just such a boo. And I wanted to root for her because, like I said, she'd been through a lot of she'd been through a lot, and I wanted to root for her. But like I said, when she died in childbirth, I didn't miss her. I was happy. What's that about? I wanted to root for her so bad, and it was nothing to do, by the way, with The Walking Dead. Sorry to nerd out right now. Shane defender. Shane did nothing wrong. Bring back Shane. Okay? And I wasn't mad at Laurie for having sex with Shane, because, by the way, I do feel like if we're in an apocalypse, girl code is off the cards. We're in a deficit of fine shits. You're not telling me that I can't fuck you, man, in an apocalypse. I'm sorry. I'm the biggest girl. I'm girls girl down to the ground, but my best mate, if her man is the only one left standing in a zombie apocalypse, he's getting cracked. Sorry. Surely the girl code goes out the window. And like I said, if I was Laurie, I would have been on Daryl's day. For me, I would have been on Daryl before I was on Shane. Daryl's fine as hell. That one shot where he had the blood. Oh my God. He like ate a frog or something, and he like, they knew what they were doing. He ate a frog and he looked up and he had like all blood around his lips. Okay, my next tip. Because like I said, I'm going to give you actual 5 steps of how to get over your phone addiction, unrot your brain, rewire your brain, and just become sane again. And this is my bullet points, okay? So, when you're doing something that doesn't require you to be on your phone, put the phone away. This is the life-changing thing. I've actually got myself a place for my phone. So do you know how, like, back in the day we had a landline, and I say we, I didn't, but my mum had a landline, and there would be a place for the phone and you knew where it was. That's what needs to happen with this little device, because you know what happens every single time I'm doing something, whether it's on the laptop, chatting to a friend, anything, cooking, this little device is right there. And I never need it. Obviously, you need it for music and stuff, but like I said, there's ways around this still. It just feels like it's following me, and it feels like it's got a hold on me, the phone, if it's constantly there at all times, and it feels like it's got this grip on you. You're checking notifications. What I'll do now is, like I said, I'll put my phone on D&D unless I need it, or sometimes I won't even put it on D&D, but I'll put it in a place. I'll go about my business, whatever I'm doing, do it, return to my phone. And when I started doing that, I was like, I'll put my phone away for like an hour. Like I said, I understand not everyone has the luxury of doing this. If you work on your phone, of course, don't have whataboutism and be all like, well, I'm always on my, okay, cool, it doesn't apply to you. I'm just trying to give you help, all right? But I would put my phone away for like an hour and then realise, like, oh, this is actually okay. Like, I'm alive. Rush to my phone the first few times, because I was so used to having my phone on me all the time. I'd rush to my phone, unlock, check my notifications. Not a single person messaged me. I got a notification from Klarna, and then my dad messaged me saying, like, where are you? And that's it. And I thought, oh, we don't need it. My dad wasn't worried either that I hadn't responded. You realise you don't need it, and it's just having it, there's something about having it always there that it's got a hold on you. And also there's a beauty of focusing on the task at hand. Like, even now sometimes as well, I don't like to multitask because I like to let my brain fully feel the feelings. So for example, if I'm doing a work piece, usually I always would have music on, and obviously it is nice to work with music on. I'm not saying not to do that ever, But there's something nice about sometimes just having no music and letting your brain feel unclogged and fully focus on what you're doing, and actually allowing your brain to solve problems as well. I feel like, especially in an age where everything's so easy to obtain and you can quickly look at a TikTok of how to do something, or you can Google, or you can chat GPT something. Okay, another little hack. This is not an ad. I wish it was. Using a screen Zen locker. Okay. Well, oh no, we're using a screen locker. I said screen Zen locker because mine's called screen Zen. It's not an ad. But if you genuinely I got to the point where my doom scrolling was so bad, I had to get a locker. So what happened with me is, and I have something. This might sound a little bit OTT, but like I said, I don't care. I actually just needed something to like get me a grip. So I genuinely got so bad to the point where I set a screen locker that only allowed me 30 seconds of scroll. So I'd log on, go to my phone, scroll, do a SpongeBob, big guy pants, okay, and then it'll pop up, and you can set your own reminder. So they give you a few examples where it'll like pop up and go, get back to work, or like pop up and go, time's up. But I was like, that's not aggressive enough for me, because I'll just reset it or delete the app. So I would write like morbid things like, you're gonna die, or like, you stupid bitch, time's running out, like time is running out, like I'm Muse. And I would genuinely write this. It does sound like I'm going through, like I've got problems, but I'm all right, don't worry about me. But I just, sometimes, like I said, you know yourself, like I was like, I need something very aggressive here. So I would genuinely write notes to myself like, you're getting old and you're wasting your life. Because it would be like, oh God, let me get off my phone. You don't need to do that. That might be a bit too far, but whatever. I actually have a funny story about that, guys. I was on a date. This is recently as well. I was on a date with a guy, and at the time, like I said, I was in my kind of depressed at the time. So, and I was having my horrible, like I was addicted to my phone at this time. This is during my a chaotic hiatus that I spoke about. So I shouldn't have been going on a date. God bless him. He's not around anymore. You know, he didn't die. He's not in my life anymore. And basically, right, I can't make this up. I have my screen time locker on my phone because I was really going through a doom scrolling, like phone addiction time. And so I had this screen locker that I've just told you about set up. And obviously, like I've just said, you know, I had it set up with the messages. What I normally would do though, is the screen locker would only be on during the day when I was working. And then when I was in a social situation, I would always turn it off. And I never had forgotten to do that because it's quite aggressive, like the alarm goes off and stuff. And also as well, it doesn't say what it is, the app. It doesn't say that it's a screen locker app. It just pops up as a message on your phone. It kind of looks a bit like, it looks a bit scary, to be honest. But anyway, we were on the date, we were fooling around, and he didn't have his phone on. Oh, this is a bit weird actually, but he didn't have his phone, whatever. And he was like, oh, let me put we didn't have each other's Instagram because I don't meet people off social media anyway. Like I did, to be honest, I would have rather he didn't have an Instagram. But he was like, oh, let me just put my Instagram into your phone. So I opened Instagram, and I must have had it on my Instagram for about 10 seconds because bear in mind my screen locker is like 30 seconds. And then so gave it to him, and he was faffing about like putting his Instagram in. And then while he was typing his Instagram in, the screen locker went off. And that week, I'm not joking, I had my screen locker. It just went, you're gonna die soon. I went, you're gonna die soon. And bear in mind, I completely forgot about it. My phone started buzzing, and he looked at it and he went, and just gave his phone back to me. And I was like, so, because this is not someone that I knew that well, but he knew, obviously I'm a bit of a goofball, like I'm a bit of a silly sausage. So I was like, I can just say that was a prank. So I told him that I was pulling a funny prank on him, and I had this setting where I could, like, whenever someone asks for my phone, do like a morbid message, because that felt to me less embarrassing than admitting that was a serious thing that was on my phone to help me give up my phone addiction. Because I genuinely that week, my doom scrolling was getting so bad, I set my message to, you're gonna die soon, so that every time, which I'm obviously not, God willing, but like, basically, because every time I was scrolling, I wanted it to be like a very aggressive thing. And so I said to him, oh, I've just done a prank. Is everyone laughing? I've just done a prank, like whenever I give someone phone, it's just this app. And he was like, what app is that? Like, but he knew I was just a silly sausage, so he wasn't actually too fazed by that. But I was like, whoa, that was a close one. So just be careful with that app. Obviously, if you do get it, like, please do turn it off in social situations unless you want to go through that. But it is a really helpful app. It actually has helped me. Don't worry about me if you feel like I'm mentally unstable from this section. I'm actually fine. It's just because I'm so like ADHD, like crazy. Sometimes crazy methods work for me. Also have like I said before, make a must watch / want to watch folder on TikTok, on YouTube, on all forms where you normally would watch or consume any media. And this is where, when you see something that looks really interesting or edifying or fun or whatever that you want to watch, add it to that folder, so that every single time you're like, right, I need a scroll, right, I need some downtime, you can go straight to a folder and watch things that you've intentionally chosen to put in a file, instead of just doom scrolling and then not consenting to what you're consuming. Also, another thing, I read a book called The Artist's Way. It's absolutely fantastic. Would recommend it to everyone. And the one thing that I have taken from it is there's this thing that they tell you to do in The Artist's Way, which is every single morning, non-negotiable, don't care what you're doing, how you're feeling, you are to write 3 large pages. It sounds insane, but I have done it every single day. There's only been a couple days that I have missed it, and that's because I had a gynecologist appointment and I was crashing out. So while I was doing my pages, someone was parting me fanny like the Red Sea. And that is a true story. That's why I remember it. I remember it because I was half crashing out because I had a gynecologist appointment, and part crashing out because I hadn't done my morning pages. And at first I was like, this is pointless. It's not the same as journaling. This is literally like head to paper, and it literally says, if the only thing you can write is, I don't know what to write that till you're blue in the face. And it does sound crazy, but this is the one. And again, the things that sound like they're not going to work always do work. So I have done that every single day, and I'm not joking. The magic, like the stuff that's come out of me is insane. And just on that note, I know I mentioned briefly before, guys, I have a Patreon exclusive podcast called Aftercare, which is after the main podcast. It's like a little bit of after, I love talking about aftercare, come on. I thought it's like a little wind down with me, and we go into a little bit more niche taboo topics. So far I've done my relationship with God, I've done intimacy, sex, aftercare, bedroom, versatility, I've done a stretch and align breath work session with me while I was talking about how I've like awakened my feminine side. There's just some real niche stuff on there, so that's all on there right now. Every single week there's a full length extra exclusive episode, and I thought this is why I'm talking about this now, I'm going to do my morning pages with me, where I teach you about how I journal to get the best out of me, and just actually have a raw, because it's all uncut on Aftercare. It's all uncut. Also, Patreon is where you can get involved with the podcast. There's group chats, there's loads more. By the way, for anyone who's not used Patreon before, it's basically like having like an extra little app where you can chat with me directly, you can chat with other people who are on the page. It's like a little cult, basically. That's what I want to create, like a close little community. But obviously the main like major feature is all these extra episodes, but there's going to be so much more. And also as well, there's no pressure. If you want to cancel at any point, you can cancel at any time with Patreon. It's like a monthly rolling thing that you can get out of at any time, so there's no like contracts or anything. So even if you just want to try it out for a month, get all the content, that's completely fine. I don't actually mind how you use it, because also I'm aware that not everyone wants to be paying extra subscriptions and stuff. I'm completely aware of that. So that's why sometimes I find it annoying when people are always like pushing paid stuff, but it's not that. It's genuinely just such a nice little extra. But that is what today's episode is going to be about. So Patreon is linked in the description of wherever you're watching or listening to this. And yeah, today's will be on The Artist's Way. But I'll do a proper preview, as always, at the end of all episodes, because I'm not done with this episode. I do a preview on Patreon. So yeah, you can go over there and see that. I hope, another little thing that I just wanted to impart on you regarding the, the brain rot, is to make it a thing to kind of fix your attention span. I realised that my attention span was very much fried. Some of my favourite films of all time are like 1999s, not me to be edgy. I just like 90s, baby, whatever. But like Silence of the Lambs is my favourite film of all time, for example. I fear that when I was in my doom scroll era, if I came across Silence of the Lambs, I wouldn't have even got 5 minutes in, because it's a slow starter. I feel like I got to a point where genuinely, unless a film started like, I killed my mum and my entire family, and this is how I did it in the first 5 seconds, bomb go off, dramatic sex scene. If it's not all that, I'm like, I'm going to skip, this is boring. If it's not something that immediately makes me, and that is a problem, because I used to really appreciate just a slow starting scene. So I've just taken it upon myself every single time I'm like watching something and I'm like, no, I wanted to watch this, and it's a slow burner. I'm not saying you have to put yourself through stuff you don't want to see, but like, I give it time. I'm not in a rush, do you know what I mean? My brain's not in a rush, so I'm kind of like, I want to just unfry my brain, and I've been loving it. By the way, guys, if you're loving the podcast so far, smash a little like button for me, smash the hype, do the little dab, comment, whatever. Helps me a lot, doesn't it? Now, this part of the podcast is fun because, well, it's not really fun for me, but I do it as dedication to you. OGs will know that I do have a treasure trove, but I've got a treasure trove of lore, okay? And what this means is, because I'm just, if you've not picked up, I'm a crazy gal, and I just had so many, I'm layered, I'm an onion. I identify as an onion. My pronouns are peel me. I apologise for everything that's just happened in the last 2 seconds. But I am an onion. I'm genuinely very, very much an onion. And therefore, when I was like, I have a lot of lore. And what I mean by this in a nutshell is I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to be a Victoria's Secret model. Victoria's Secret never called. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a presenter. I wanted to be reality TV. I've wanted to do everything. And the thing is about me, I was never told no in my life. Well, when it came to my goals. So like I pursued everything. And unfortunately for me, fortunately for you, there is evidence of all these pursuits. So across the episodes, the last episode, we were looking at my music video era because I was a video vixen. I don't know if you guys can see that for me. I say this lightly, but yeah, you got to go and listen to the episodes. I've obviously been delving into all my old like modelling stuff. But I actually found a harrowing archive. So welcome to Sarah's treasure chest of lore. Okay, this is every week. I have a new bit of lore and it's for your comedic value, by the way, guys, but also as a nice little thing to say, you know, this is nice and healing for me to look back on. I was a crazy gal who did so many things, and it's almost been quite therapeutic for me to look back and think, you know, gosh, I really tried. And even though it led nowhere. Well, no, maybe it did in the grand scheme of things, but I found a harrowing self-tape. Now, this is the thing, because I used to do acting and stuff, I do have a lot of self-tapes, and I came across a harrowing archive of a self-tape. Now, audio listeners, you're going to hear the self-tape and that'll be quite fun, okay? But obviously, I do have a visual of it, so if you're on the audio, you might want to hop across at some point to the visual to see this, because, gosh, it is quite something. So yeah, guys, I wanted to be an actress, and when I was about between the ages of 17 and I think 20, I had an acting agent, who would submit me for roles. And when I was 19, I got an audition through for this period drama, which was quite a big period, but I can't say the production, okay? And they sent me the lines. And now, I had this thing that I would do, basically, where on actors, this is actors jargon, so my actors, you'll know about this. There's this actors CV thing called Spotlight, where you can basically create your own CV. Bit of a scam, to be honest. You have to pay about 169 quid, and I'm not trying to be cheeky, it was that, to have this actors CV live, so you could be submitted for roles. Did no one talk about that? Why am I paying to audition for your project? Anywho, I paid it every month like a rat, even if I couldn't afford like my groceries. I would, the screen was good, the Spotlight would eat, even when I didn't, like I said. So, and it was just like, I would be like, my mum would be like, sweetie, maybe, you know, you should get a job. And, because I would come to my mum, I would ask my mum to borrow money for my Spotlight. I'd be like, Mum, listen, like, you need to support me dreams, you bitch. Support me dreams. And my mum was behind like my self-tape camera being like, I don't know if I can support this any longer, sweetie. There says not. I'm not eating. You're not eating your roll up. No, but I was like, Mom, like I need my money for Spotlight, Mom. I'm not being funny, Mom, but you need to be a good mom and you need to pay for my Spotlight. So my poor mum paid for my Spotlight every month. Okay. Are you proud of me, Mama? I'm on a podcast in my box room, my own podcast with a DIY studio. You proud of me, Mom? All the Spotlight years have worked, Mother. Mother, are you proud of your daughter, Mother? You proud of Sarah? Wow, I need sectioning immediately. But yeah, basically, essentially what happened was I bullied my mum into paying for my Spotlight every year. Yeah. And the thing with me, this is the bad thing, and I'm surprised my agent didn't say anything, but I put on my Spotlight, my thing was, because on Spotlight you tick what skills you have, so there was so many skills you could take. If you had like a niche skill like juggling, acrobatics, that was on Spotlight, because people then would be looking, casting directors would be looking for that and would find you. So it was imperative that you only ticked what you could do. Now with me, I thought, goodness me, I don't want to pigeonhole myself, you know what I mean? I'm a quadruple threat. So I ticked everything that I could do, every single thing. It took me about 3 days to go through all the skills on Spotlight. Trapeze artist, yep.
And now why I did this, because I didn't think it through, but I thought, because I was quite a fast learner and I was always a fast learner, I thought, gosh, when I don't want to, Martin Scorsese could be browsing Spotlight, because this is how I worked. Martin Scorsese sat on Spotlight being like, let's have a look in Merseyside. And he could be looking and he could be like, I need a sexy trapeze artist, and I don't want to, just because I can't do the trapeze, I don't want to miss out just because I've said no. I thought I'd cracked the code. So I thought what I'd do is I'll tick it, and if I get a roll through that's good enough, I'll learn trapeze 2 days. It's 24 hours sorted, because they give you 24 hours to do a thing. So that's how I thought. So what also then happened is I ticked all the accents. So every single accent, I've said this in the last podcast, I think, I ticked every single accent I could do, Scottish, Irish, no bother. I'll just do a quick little, YouTube tutorial and learn it. And my agent was like, well, this probably will come round and bite you in the ass. I thought, try it. Do you want to do it? It's not going to. Anyway, so I got a roll through and it was like, then the lead character needs to speak fluent, like RP. It was like some Bridgerton vibe. So I do have the self-tape, so we might as well watch it. But like I said, guys, I've got so many of these, so every single episode I'm going to do, I've got so many self-tapes.
Management, and I'm reading for the role of Imi, the Duke's daughter.
I'm reading for the Duke's daughter.
Well, I'm a good person, and I gave him a chance. But I said, look, sir, you're making me uncomfortable.
Wow. Okay, Florence Pugh. This is Florence Pugh. This is when you order Florence Pugh on Temu. This, first of all, I'm not roasting myself. Like I said, I know I kind of make fun of myself in these videos because it's fun for me, but please don't think that I'm like some I'm sure I don't come across this way, but I'm not some sort of like insecure, like self-deprecating freak. I think I'm absolute God's gift to planet Earth and that. And I do think I'm really talented, don't get it twisted, but something was happening to me at this time where I was just forcing like a vibe that wasn't mine. Do you know what I mean? Like I would audition for these roles, and then when I'd get the scripts through, this is the thing, because I am actually I'm not even just saying it. I would say that like now I am a good actor and I do, but it's because I've come into my own. Like back here, I feel like I was forcing, instead of like embodying the role, I was like trying to force like something. I don't know, it was really weird what happened to me, because all my self-tapes, I watched them and I'm like, bloody hell.
Really uncomfortable, and he left. Straight away.
Oh gosh, I mean, Charles, it's Princess Diana, guys.
Didn't have to ask him twice. Just goes to show.
Oh, this is actually quite mesmerising. For the blind and deaf. It's sickening actually, but
I don't really like men.
Way! She's kind of real. Also that pause, I don't really like men. That dramatic pause, that's like Oscar stuff. That's that Tarantino shit.
They don't really appeal to me.
You are gay. What is this role as well, by the way?
And I actually think the world would be a better place without them, quite frankly.
I was ahead of my time. Because this was 6 years ago. I'm not even joking. This was 5 years ago.
And I actually think the world would be a better place without them.
I agree, Princess Diana.
Quite frankly. I shouldn't say that.
Oh, you should, and you did.
Biased.
Why is it biased?
But I do think that.
All right, we get it. You think that. Now, what is this monologue? I'm trying to feel something, but I've felt more at a funeral. I shouldn't I? Because someone's died, so that was.
Maybe I'm saying that because I've not found my Mr. Right.
Yeah, you've not been dicked down yet. Because trust me, Shorty. What am I saying? I think I was underage in this.
That could be why. I think men are scared of me.
I'm not, it's not, what is this? Like, what is the vibe of this? I'm not really feeling much, you know what I mean? Is this meant to grip me, this monologue?
Shocked that I have an education. I'm well...
Oh, so now you're being a bit, you're being a bit of an insufferable, Harvard graduate now, are you? Okay.
I'm well-rounded. They just see the blonde hair and they think, bimbo.
No, it's barely blonde. The roots are really pushing through there, sweetie. Me after getting 5 GCSEs and calling it a day and doing a BTEC in acting. Yeah, gag it. Guys, I've only got BTEC. I don't know if I come across like a Harvard graduate. He's scared of this pussy, but I got a BTEC. What I want to say is a few things, so just wait there. 2, next week we'll unpack some more of my law. I also have a very, very, very deep topic for next week.
Sundays, same time. Make sure you're here. I want to say I love you guys very much, and all the new faces as well. I love it because I feel like I'm getting to know you guys as well. And it just feels like we're just in the room together. So I hope you guys love the episode. As always, if you could show me any support or love, tag me on the stories. Do any form of tapping and downloading and rating and reviewing and all that kind of shit. Helps me so much. And I do notice it, and I thank you so much. And any forms of that helps me, especially as I'm trying to, get it off the ground for you guys. And I want to thank you for all your work towards that as well. Number one, of course, I do have an exclusive Patreon podcast called Aftercare, which is after each main public episode. As I said, we just unwind together and get into a bit more of a niche taboo topic, but they're full length, so full 45-minute and 35-minute episodes. Over on Patreon, we've done, like I said, the intimacy and sex episode, my relationship with God, and my faith journey, and all that kind of stuff. And then I did an alignment and like femininity and breathing and that kind of thing. All that is on there on the Patreon right now. So go and catch up on. Like I said, with the Patreon, it's super chilled. You can cancel at any time. I'm going to put a small preview at the end, but today's is going to be on my morning pages. So the Patreon is linked in the description of wherever you're watching and listening to this, and I would love to have you over there. It's just, like I said, a much more close-knit little community, so that will be linked. And as always, same time next week, I have a juicy episode lined up for next week, so I cannot. Make sure you're subscribed and just following on all platforms. Let me know what you thought of the episode, and also please in the comments or on Patreon or wherever, you can comment on this YouTube as well, or Spotify. Get in your small wins for next week, whether you have one for you or a friend. I want to shout you out. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next step.